Joy. Could you please tell me your first name?
Gaby.
Gaby? Gaby just brought to my attention that she just got a call from her sister who's right in the path, right in this moment of fire. So I just want us to go straight to prayer. Can we?
Yes.
Okay, good. In the goodness and greatness of each and every moment, I absolutely know that right here and now, Spirit is alive and well everywhere present. That as we are gathered together so uniquely here, that across the world right now, there are lights of illumination where Spirit is just being so present to assist and bring love and be love. So I know in this divine space that appears to be California right now, where there's been a pathway where fire has been cleansing, that I'm claiming and naming right now that there is safety across this beautiful state, that there is absolutely safe pathways, that people are being able to be seen how to go, where to go, and are safely guided. I bless all those that are on transition right now, that they are in the midst of a transition and trusting God on the next step of the evolution of their new home. I bless their hearts, their souls, that all needs are met right there. I bless Gaby's sister Judy in this moment. I know that wherever Judy is, she is safe and surrounded by light. Peace be still right now. Assistance to all fire teams right now. Bless our beautiful earth right now. And I'm grateful to speak the word of truth for all. All needs met, overflow, hearts open and available. Peace be still. With a grateful heart, we hold all. And so it is. Amen. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. It's so good to be here. I've missed being here. Where was I last month? I can't remember. Was I here? I can't remember. Things are going so fast these days. It's just brilliant. You know, I just have to remind each and every one of you that just the fact that you're in this room on this day is evidence of where you came into this planetary existence with more light than you even knew possible. That the fact that you're in this room, you have the awareness to know that your spiritual path has been important and has been evolving and growing since the second you were born. Can we agree to that? That each and every one of us comes through into this body temple with a knowing that we are guided and lifted, that the light is pulling us through. So that in those moments that we took our first breath, in those very moments that we took our first breath, light was absolutely pulling us through. Whether the journey was easy, whether it was a more challenging one, light was leading the way. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So if we know that, then we can agree that we're all divine light beings. That we're all light beings. That we're here to absolutely deliver more light with every breath, every word, every action. So as we look at this season, this time of the year where we're celebrating lights, where we're out watching the lights everywhere in the world, that we can remember, where's mine? Where's mine? Each and every one of us was born with brilliance. Sheer brilliance. Every single one of us on this planet was born with sheer brilliance. If we're coming through as the light, being led by the light is our brilliance. It is our divine connection to the Most High. So if we're standing in the truth, which every single one of us are because you're here, of remembering that one power, one presence of love, of unconditional love, ever-giving love, God is presence, is moving through your actions and your choices every day, you are delivering forward your gifts. We are here to deliver our gifts in abundance. These last few weeks, I had a lot of opportunity to pray, not that I don't anyway. I pray constantly all day, all night. But in the midst of this storm that has been occurring, as Patricia mentioned, there is many adventures. There's something about when you live in California, period, and I live in the Malibu Hills, that you're always somewhat knowing that when the Santa Anas come, you just kind of hunker down and say a lot of prayers. So while we were in meditation, all of a sudden I had this view of the wildness of my week, and there are moments that when I was home this week that the winds hit about 75 miles an hour up there, and I thought it'd be really, don't know why, that I should then go and retrieve all the pillows that have blown over the feel that I should retrieve them right then before they blow all the way to the ocean. And I'm getting these and I wondered why I came back and went, why can't I see right? My eyes are acting funny, and I have this funny visual now, me standing out holding these pillows that are bigger than me as the wind is pushing against me, thinking, Kim, seriously, right now, just let go. Just let go. And there's moments like that that I forget. Don't we all? That there's just a divine space of surrender at every moment. These are times that surrender gets to lead our way. When we are surrendering to our own inner brilliance, then we don't need to rush out and do anything. We get to sit back and be. All I needed to do was sit back and be still and stay in prayer and not move straight into my fixing mode. I was raised to be a doer. Who else was raised to be a doer in this room? It was a blessing. There's nothing wrong with it, right? I look at my parents and thank you so much for raising me to be a doer. They get a lot done. My parents are in the 70s and they refused to leave their home in Ojai because they were going to hunker down. I'm like, okay, you're misbehaving, parents. Please. And they were saying, no, Kimbo, we're fine. They knew better than I. I slipped into fear for a moment of like, you gotta go. You gotta go and you gotta go now. But their doing nature caught them into, no, we're good. We've got it checked out. We've got a direct line to spirit just like you do. And we know that we're good. My doing nature was going straight to wanting to fix, wanting to heal. And I had to lean back and be still. I finally got it and just leaned back. Went back to my office, sat, and just prayed. Our prayers are enough. Our activity of surrendering to meditation is enough. Our ability to remember that one element, that one source, that we are divine beings that are here connected to this beautiful source, that we must lean in. And when we're aiming to cultivate something, we don't need to cultivate our brilliance, we need to cultivate our consciousness because we're already brilliant. See, when I was listening to Spirit saying, yes, it's about cultivating your brilliance, and I'm thinking, but we're born brilliant. Every single one of us is born brilliant. Our practice is how do we cultivate our consciousness to stay steadfast in the remembrance that we're brilliant. What are we applying each and every day to know and remember that the light is shining so brightly through each and every one of you that in the activity of surrendering to your light, you are going to be more than enough at any given moment in human history time. Do you understand that? Yes. When surrendering and leaning back into spirit, you will be standing your divine connection always to give from the overflow. Our givingness this season, we can get caught up in the givingness of the season, right? There's a sense of, gotta go shopping, gotta pick up something else, like we'll show, if we buy enough, we'll show our love to those. Anyone else been in the midst of that? Let's do this, do, shop to buy enough to make sure the person knows how much we love them. Where does our love really come from in those moments? Think about it for a moment. The best gifts you've received. I want you just to think about it for a moment. And were they a physical thing, or were they truly the gift of love that somebody showered upon you? I still save treasured little letters. My best gifts were these wonderful little letters that little humans wrote to me about, I love you, I love this about you, I love that about you, can we just go do this, can we do that? Those things are like held in my heart. Moments are what lift us. Moments, not the things. I bet you if you leaned back into a Christmas, it was the best you'd remember. It was the moment where love was being amplified in a certain unique manner that you held on to more than the stuff, yes? So our opportunity right now is to give so much love that we're giving from the overflow, that our brilliance is gifting to those in our lives, simply those that are on the path with us, whether they're a stranger or someone we know intimately, that we're gifting from the overflow of pure, unconditional, magnificent, ever-giving love. That's your gift to give this season. The pathway to love, and let the love overflow as your brilliance continues to completely shine everywhere present. Who wants to just give your brilliance? Yes? That's what we have an opportunity to be, to live, to know this day and every day, is can we live from that element of gifting our brilliant light. Recently, I had an amazing young client come to me, and she was looking at where her gifting was difficult, and it was to herself. She wasn't willing to see herself rightly because she was stuck in old beliefs. When we get stuck in old beliefs, can we see our brilliance, or do we forget? We forget who we are because we're stuck in something that has some story we've named ourselves. So she was stuck in a certain spot. And when I looked at her and said, can we dig deeper to, these are the elements of God that is shining through you, and she couldn't see them. She couldn't deliver her gifts because she couldn't see them any longer. She felt like she'd fallen off the path and forgotten who she was, so her story was based on where she had messed up. Do you understand? She was living in the story of where she'd messed up. When I looked at her and she said, Kim, I can't forgive myself because I made these mistakes. Forgiveness is the key to our surrender. And as we went back to look at them, I looked at her, I said, okay, let's go underneath them. When you made that decision, did you have all this information? She goes, no, I didn't know. And then when you took that step, did you take it because you knew it was going to go down that path? She said, no, I didn't have the information. I said, that's exactly right. How can you hold yourself stuck in a position of judgment when at the time you were doing the best you could with the information you had? We can peel off of our own judgment and stand in our brilliance again when we start to look from the clarity of love. First and foremost, self-love. Your givingness this season comes from a willingness to stand in the brilliance and move forward from the element of, as you are standing in love, you're gifting love. I want you to just consider for a moment, if there's any place in you right now that is holding any judgment on yourself that can be left in this room, and you don't have to take it out those doors when you leave. Anywhere. Any sense of self-judgment that could stay right here. Because in this space, you can leave it so that you don't have to carry it outward and dim your light whatsoever. Our intention is to stand in our light and deliver fully, full love, full joy, full peace as divine spiritual awakened beings, yes? So you don't have to carry it onward. Your opportunity is to stand in your brilliance, knowing that your cultivation is to cultivate your meditation, your love, your forgiveness practice, and know that as you move through this holiday season, you're moving with love. You're being guided by love. You're being lifted by love everywhere you go. That is the heart space that we get to continue to give from, is from the overflow of knowing that our divine connection is more than enough. To read something to you. Everyone's so serious today. I love it. It's like this seriousness. Loving kindness in action. For loving kindness to become an integral expression of our lives, we have to start by developing it for ourselves. And yet this is the hardest place to begin. How easy it would be if we could just skip this bit and start straight in with loving others. But without a true caring and kindness for ourselves, then our capacity to direct these qualities toward anyone else is limited. If we do not appreciate ourselves, then our love for others will be based on trying to find the love we need. Do I have to read that last sentence one more time? I love that. If we do not appreciate ourselves, then our love for others will be based on trying to find the love we need. What does that tell you? That first and foremost is self-appreciation. That first and foremost is standing in the light of your brilliance. Now, if you look at, wait a minute, if I'm appreciating myself, this is not from an egoic standpoint. I'm talking about standing in the place of deep appreciation that you are a spiritual being. That's your place of appreciating the knowing that you came in your light. And as you appreciate yourself, And allow the judgment to drop off. I did it wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said this. Any of the chatter of judgment to drop off and surrender to the truth that you are more than enough. That you could appreciate the fact that you are here in this room as an awakened being, and you could take out of this room today more love and light to gift the world, and that could be more than enough. What if we just gave that all day long? Just our love, our acceptance, our peace. The world is calling for that right now. This is why we start today in a prayer for those individuals that we may not know right now, but we know prayer is being called for. That is our connection to one another, that we could stand here and know the appreciation of each and every one of you as you accept yourself to walk forward and not be looking for the love, just stand in it and be it. Reverend Michael says so many things so beautifully, and he says one that I love, which is to say, don't go to an event, a party looking for the light. Don't walk in looking for it. Walk in and be it. You can be the bearer of the light because it is who you are. That is cultivating your brilliance. And then as you show up to be present to your light, you will most definitely open the door to others shining theirs, which is exactly what the reading stated. That as we open our hearts and connect with each and every one from that deepest point of acceptance and love, then the person in front of us stands in their willingness to remember who they are. You gift your consciousness. And as you gift your consciousness, everyone you bump into has the opportunity to catch something from your presence. Imagine that as a present. Your presence is enough of a present as you show up because you're gifting them the opportunity to remember who they are because of you. When you love someone that fully because you're coming from love, they have the opportunity to simply see themselves rightly. Do you understand that? It's so beautiful to think about, wow, our own independent practice of cleaning up our own judgment opens the door to stand in the presence from those we love, and then they have the willingness to see themselves rightly because we're not holding judgment on ourselves or them or anyone else. So move through this beautiful season of love because that's what it's about, with absolutely allowing your judgment to be left here. There is none. You don't need to carry it with you. Your self-judgment does not bless you. It constricts you. And we don't need that constriction. We're free, magnificent beings, and the more we drop the judgment, drop the upset, the more we absolutely can gift our presence to the world. This is why in meditation nobody wanted to come out, because we were in surrender. We're simply in surrender. It's why when Sheila sings, we completely surrender again, because she opens the door for us to remember simply by being in her presence that, oh yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And this is the place we get to live. It just means so much to me to know it's not just Sunday mornings. It's not just Wednesday nights. It's not just when we're in class. Achilles class, I love that man. It's just that anywhere that we get to be the truth of who you are and gift that. Are we in agreement? Yes. So from this point onward, you can go out and absolutely buy lots of beautiful jewelry today. But otherwise your gifting gets to be from the place of your consciousness. That you stand tall in your consciousness. And as you absolutely stand in that and do your inner work and do your meditation and your prayers and your willingness to stay connected, that you are blessing those you walk with. Give the gift of you. And know that's enough. It's more than enough. Your family wants it. The world needs it. And your absolute light is just wanting to scream out, you are enough because you're here. You were brought in by the light, and you will be carried onward by the light forevermore. So may we just constantly be in a place that we don't dim it, don't dim it, don't dim it. Just stand in it, take a breath, and know, this is enough. I'll just go to prayer, please. How grateful, 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 grateful I am to just remember again and again and again that the one power, one presence of all that is moving through this moment, every moment, that it is absolutely guiding us. It is lifting us. It is supporting us to remember that God is the unlimited nature, and it moves through each and every one of us so magnificently. God is I am. God is I am. God is I am. So in that God is I am remembrance, we live and move and breathe and give our gifts today. That there's simply an opening and access points that is just a breath away. It is right here. And as we move through our remembrance, we offer up a true let go. A true let go, to let go of any past beliefs that no longer serve us, and to stand present to this moment, to this present, and gift that. Brilliance is shining through each and every individual here and beyond. Brilliance is absolutely being amplified as our very existence. And how grateful I am for each and every one of us gifting ourselves, our love, and blessing this world with it. I bless this beautiful center. I bless it in the overflow. I know it is in the overflow. I bless our hearts and souls, and I bless it all of those across the world that we are holding in prayer right now. That right now I'm amplifying that prayer, that everyone in this room that is holding within their hearts someone they are praying for, that we accept that prayer is the blessing. And for this, I give abundant thanks. I joyfully, easily, lovingly release this word as I trust the journey it is upon. And so it is. Amen. Oh, thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Can I welcome up those wonderful ushers? I love our wonderful ushers. They're always looking so beautiful. As you give from the overflow this day, please hear what Patricia had said earlier about this is the perfect time of year to do our gift giving right here as well. That we are just amplifying the law of circulation. And as we support this beautiful center to continue to grow and expand, then we are just supporting the law of circulation in our own lives. So I ask you to give from the overflow. Thank you. Bless you, ushers.
Away